Hello there, this is Marcio Galli, and welcome to another episode of Coding with Agents or Culture Coding with Agents. And in today's episode, I want to bring an idea here, which I call pop-up apps. Okay, in the past, these names they come and go, right? And allow me to coin a term here. It's the notion of pop-up apps. What is a pop-up app? We're gonna see very soon. And what you see there in the background of my computer, it's a terminal, and this terminal is showing a folder, okay? And that's just the context there. It's a folder where I'm working in a project. And the folder is a box, right? Directory is a box, right? You're working something, put things in there, and you try to organize over time, right? Maybe you end up making boxes inside boxes. That's where we're gonna go. And the notion of pop-up apps comes from there. But then, in general, what we're doing throughout these episodes here, right, is to talk about the agents or the AI agents, or as I say, as we go through the AI agentic days, these are reflections about what's going on, about things they're changing, and other things aren't changing at all, right? And a theme that I want to bring before here today is it starts with that question. Some people ask like, why to make a robot like a humanoid and not like a snake, for example, right? We have heard that question, right? Because of course, like think, right? If you had an apartment, right, and do I need a humanoid? Because I have an apartment. I will naturally, okay, go with the snake. See, a 2 meters snake, maybe that would be the middle end, right? You have like the mini snake, the medium snake, and the high end premium 3 meters snake, right? But you see, if you had the 2 meter snake, right, and you have like a jaw or the mouth, right? That it's something like a hand in the beginning of it with the cameras, right? That like that. See, a snake doesn't have hands, right? So the mouth is how you grab things, right? I do that in not in front of a camera, right? But when people are not looking at all, right? A good meal, uh, Brazilian good meal. If no cameras are there, you're gonna see me lick. You won't see me, right? But I would lick the plate, right? So you see, actually, I hold with my hands the plate and then I lick. But there are things I do with my mouth. They're not necessarily to, like start the digesting, right? Eating. And all right, so my point is the mouth works for the snake works like the hand. And then if you have one snake, right, you that snake can pick plates from your table. I would think so. I hope so. And put in a washing machine at least, right? At least. And it's great for cleaning the toilet, or even if it's not, the maybe the premium version would clean the full cleaning in the toilet, but it could at least do the vacuum equivalent in my apartment, right? I'll probably try to teach this snake saying, just roll there, right? Roll there with that towel and please try to do a good job there, snake. Okay, so anyway, that doesn't matter because this whole aside about the snake is to some extent wrong. So I'm not yeah, I mean, I confess, I am part of the group of people that won't go for the humanoid. But I'm not saying I'm right. I'm just saying it's who I am. But then there's a group of people saying, yeah, we want to do as a humanoid. And then the question is why? They have a good answer, right? Because we already implemented, that's their general answer. We implemented all these things to be things that you can hold with your hand, right? It's slightly different. If if I put my mouth here to hold this coffee mug, and then I don't have another mouth to drink, and it's difficult, right? And there are many things here in my messy desk now. There are things, know, done to so you can hold with your hand, right? Now, so they have a point there because that's like copy and paste in the nowadays, right? As we go through these days, the agentic days. Why I'm talking about that? Because of course, at this point, these sessions, coding with agents or cultural coding with agents, aren't about humanoids and robots yet, but it's about agents. It's for builders as we know them now, right? Maybe 6 months from now we're going to be different builders, but it's for builders as we know them, these builders. And so here's the thing, right? If you make a parallel there, why we make agents the way we make right now, to code system. Similarly, you see, the agents are. Here's an example, right? If I open in the now we move towards the actual case. If I open there code dot, right? I open the visual code, it's a tool, right, for Microsoft. The visual code tool, which is a text editor, and then I have right there on the right hand side, right? It's gonna come up a sidebar panel, right? And that's called codecs. Forgive me, my computer is slow because I throughout these days is I have too many systems here running already. Something is different these days, right? In terms of using more computational resources, I guess. And then welcome screen, right? And codecs sidebar panel is coming up there, right? Now see, we have an agent that is sitting there on the right hand side. And this agent is about to help me code, not exactly typing in the window, but it isn't far from that as well. So that's like a humanoid, right? Because it types, because it can edit files with the programming language that we understand, right? And I can see this agent doing things over my apartment, right? This directory here, in this case, it would be the box, right? Apartment. See again, right? That's my terminal with the files there. So that's it. This is the end of the this episode. There's nothing more to say, right? We're solving copy and paste. This is what's happening right now, right? And by the way, the systems were trained with code of others, right? So it carries the knowledge of all the copies, so we can paste. That's part of this thing. It doesn't mean that I can't teach specific new things in my world. Right? Now, just to close, so you can think about something, okay? Remember in the beginning, I said the notion, I coined the term. It's going to be called, there's something here in the air, and now I hereby coin a term. It's pop-up apps. What is a pop-up app? You see, today, when I was about to open this directory, I wanted to organize things in this box, right? So then I had an idea. When I thought about pop-up apps these days, the beginning of that idea was like, wait, we're in front of something that it's an instant app, right? So what's an instant app? Do I need an instant app? Because some people say, no, why you need an instant app, man? Come on, you can just talk with the agent or the agents and ask for the things you want. So if you have a messy box, you talk with the agent will pick the things from the box. So why you need a pop-up app right now, right? That's like the dumbest idea of all. And then for a moment, you know, in the past 3 months, I think I wrote 20 to 30 different screens. I call screens. They didn't start, the term screen so wasn't there. No, it's those were local host web server apps, traditional local host web server apps like a website. But then I caught myself writing sites for managing things in a given directory, but not because of the directory, the data, all the data in there, because all the box it's for there for a purpose. And then I start making user interface. And I also in some of the episodes you probably have seen that. If you didn't see, it doesn't matter because I'm referencing here the idea. I did mention the idea, something that I called a phenomenon, I guess. I said prohibited screens because those screens will be prohibited. People wouldn't allow me. I wouldn't allow myself to do it because it would mean burning resources. You won't write that because that's useless. That's not part of the goal. But I caught myself writing, maybe by now I have 30 different screens. All these 30 different screens, I wrote them to help me with the business, but they are not directly associated with the goal. They are intermediary scripts. And here I make another point inside the point that, and I think that in terms of management and in terms of OKR, what Andy Grove was talking about when he brought the idea of, he developed or evolved the idea of management by objectives, which comes from Peter Drucker. In his version, what I call OKR classic version, I think Andy's Andy Grove's contribution to the whole world is precious because of that. And he said right there that you have the idea of the key results. Um, of course, a key result is to bring your objective closer, but you gotta be able to see the key results. What you're evaluating, my friend, are the key results that you do. That's why the idea of output is not wrong. When people talk about output and outcome, output matters because you still don't know how what you're doing unless you start doing. And of course, everybody wants an outcome, but you gotta look in terms of the key activities that you're doing. It's not a problem at all to measure the very simple key activities. Okay, so why I'm talking about OKR now, right? Because these intermediary systems, they will let you see through a box. They are they represent a window into a process. Okay, now check it out. This again, pop-up apps, right? Why do I need a UI if I have an agent, if I have the genie in front of me? Why do I need an UI for everything? you know I think that it's an intermediary something. I think that it's an infographic. I think that it's a dynamic process. It's a way to visualize things from above. It's the same idea of the whiteboard. It's the same idea of the dashboard, and we gotta go towards that sometimes. Okay, so I have written 30 different interfaces. Then these interfaces are screened so that I can see what's going on, trying to map a process. Sometimes you have like buttons there and things there. If you think about a cockpit of an airplane, right? Why you need all this different parallel systems in front of you? Because they're necessary for that flight, right? You could have an agent there. Can you just fly, control in manual mode, a an airplane with just with an expert co-pilot that it's your actual pilot, and you put in autopilot mode and you talk with that person or that entity or that human, or I mean with that agent, with that AI system? Can you just you probably can, but still you want the controls to be there somehow because you also want to see the controls. That's about transparency as well. There are many other reasons for that, but also I point here that it's about the non-linearity, right? It's the idea of the whiteboard or the dashboard or the radar, or call it whatever you want. The thing that allow the thing that allows you to see from above. Okay, now check it out this. So I said, right, I wrote systems to organize, to help me visualize these boxes, right? But check it out this. This is the first time doing that, okay? That's a directory, right? And I indeed did open the directory, right? And you see there are many things in there and you don't know what's there. So what about I do this? What about I ask the tool today to, hey, look at the box, figure what's going on there, what I'm doing. Give me an interface that helps me understand that and helps me to run some of the actions there, to execute some of the commands, or minimally initially to visualize what's going on there. Is that possible? Shall, shall we do it? But you see, I always say this, right? You gotta leave the party in the right moment. Right? So this is the right moment for me to just end this video. I guess, don't you think? See the cursor there, right? It's blinking. See? Okay, let's do it. Right? Just do it. Don't think, just do it, right? Hello there, buddy. Hello there, buddy. Could you please figure out what's going on in this directory in terms of a project here? I This is something that this developer is working on. It seems to be something about building sites. I don't know. Could you look at the patterns in this project, in this directory, and write for me a web server in the root location of this directory? Oh, actually, not really. Right? Create a directory there. Create a subdirectory, project nav. Okay, project nav, and but check it out the patterns, navigate through the directories, figure what's going on, and give me a web page using Express Server. Give me a page that I can visualize the purpose of this project and with some potential commands there and organized. You don't have to implement the commands right now, but I want to see that UI. Thank you very much. And please think and do it. Because if I say don't think and do it and just do it, like the movie, in the movie, and then I don't think the model is going to use its slow mode, right, approach. And so I, yeah, send, go, right, go. uh, let's refill the coffee, right? See, determining skill requirements, right? We heard about the idea of skills. It's happening. What are skills, right? Skills are like, it's like culture, right? Skills are shortcuts, series of shortcuts for actions and for decisions in a given domain, in a given boxed domain, I guess. See, explored files, created project nav, creating serve and package files, explore three files. It's interesting because I wrote right this whatever it's there in this box. I put these things in the box, and I remember one file there, this key file, and it went straight to that file. I don't know why. Express server lives there. Uh, which which NVM should I go here? NVM is my JavaScript node environment. Okay. Project nav. List. NVM use 20. NPM install. So I'm following the requirements there. NPM install and npm start after. npm start after. Right. npm start. And if things are okay, right, we are opening a browser there. Correct. Okay, I gave you the browser here, right? Okay, check it out. This, right? Oh, apologies. Oh, actually, yeah, it's okay. Um, what is this? So we're talking about a Wiplex Infra Navigator. It's a multi-site container infrastructure at a glance. Welcome to a tutorial and opportunity to learn a bit about Docker. This is a simple case example intended to show you a Docker-based app, a system with three containers that shall be installed in a host system computer. Such systems comprise of three servers: a web server, Apache, and Node.js web server simple app 1. Top-level signals, Docker compose controls, build scripts, and production loaders. Ooh, command map for 2020 examples. Build prod image directories. This is what we're talking, right? Don't you think? See? Oh yes, you may say, right? Or other person will say, oh, you can see that through here. Yeah, yeah, I give you that. But I can see also here. And it can be friendly, maybe. It in tutorial. It's educational. What's the purpose of making user interfaces is not to craft a little bit of how we use things, don't you think? See, it's not for this because I can't drink, right? It's for this. What a coffee, right? And now when you look at that, right? It's when you visualize they see no, 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 this is wrong, right? But wait, why I didn't say that here and I'm saying here because of the purpose, don't you think? So see, right when after visiting this, I was see this is important. I know that. Now this section, I'm not using that. Actually, I had the plan for removing that because there's something new here that I kind of like it. There's something new, yes, has to do with this section, the 2020 example section. It's the whole idea. It's for building, and then I have the loaders that I use to load sites live. So I could version this thing. That's it. So point the point was given, and that's the session so far. And thank you very much for joining me here, us reflecting about coding with agents or culture coding with agents. Thank you very much.